if we wait until we're ready, we'll be waiting for the rest of our lives. That's a pretty famous saying that I'm sure you've heard. And it's one that cuts to a very core flaw that most people have in their lives, which is that they wait too long to do what they want to do. They wait too long to start living the life that they want to live. They don't do whatever it is that they want to do if other people aren't doing it. And that's what I wanted to get into today, because it's a mistake that I've made at several points in my life, in things that I've wanted to do, places I wanted to go, or projects I wanted to start, businesses, whatever, literally anything. Even something as simple as just going to a restaurant that I wanted to try out. I've waited so long and sat around doing nothing, trying to get my friends to join me, trying to get someone to tag along on the journey, trying to get someone to join me in a business. And if somebody else wasn't there, I never felt comfortable starting. I was too scared to start. And I wanted someone there. I didn't have enough confidence in myself or belief in myself that I could do it on my own. I always wanted someone else there to be with me before I did the things that I wanted to do. And the worst part about that is a lot of people they say they have aspirations similar to yours. They'll say that they want to do the thing that you're talking about. They'll say they want to start a business. Friends will be really hyped on starting a business, starting a clothing label, starting something, buying a cash business, anything at all that you talk about, going on into a real estate investment together. People will always say that they want to do it, especially when it comes to money. But the thing is that 99% of the time, they don't actually want to do it. They want to talk about doing it. They don't want to do it when push comes to shove. When the rubber hits the road, they don't actually want to do it. And the reason that they don't, it could be any number of reasons. But if you have this deep desire, or you have pain in your life that you want to get rid of, that you want relief from, you start to seek out ideas. You start to seek ways to relieve yourself of this pain, to relieve yourself of these problems. And if other people aren't having those same pains, they're never going to be as motivated or as driven to make the sacrifices that need to be made to change their lives. So when you come to them with an idea that sounds great, they're going to be all about it. But when it comes time for them to actually put their foot down and do meetings and do research and put in the work and create whatever it is that you're trying to create, or move on something that you're trying to move on, more than likely they're not going to do it. And one of the biggest pain points in my life is that I never had the confidence to move forward on my own. I always felt like I needed somebody else there. I needed a partner. I needed someone to go in on something with me. I needed someone to do something with me because I was afraid of doing it myself. I didn't think I could do it myself. And I would try to rationalize it initially and say, well, this person's really good at this specific thing. When I was starting a clothing business with a friend of mine, I thought to myself, oh, I can't design things the way Andrew can. So I need him for us to do this. I can handle all the business side of it and the marketing, but Andrew handles the designs, and without designs, we have no brand. And so I waited and waited and waited. And it was so bad that in my head, I thought, I can't even get good at designing. So there's no chance of me doing this by myself. And that's kind of a crazy thing. And that was a long time ago. I know that that's not the case now, but I spent so much time waiting, and I spent so much time pushing someone else to join me and to do the work and to work as hard as I was working when we did start the business, that it drove me crazy, and it created a lot of animosity. So I spent so much time waiting. I wasted a lot of time. And then when things did actually start to move in some direction or the other, there was so much stress because I was so urgent with everything that needed to get done, that if my partner wasn't at the same level, then it created tension, it created animosity, it created resentment, and eventually things failed. And the most important lesson there is that if you want to work on something, you have to do it on your own. You have to start it immediately. And a lot of people will say they want to do it too, but the fact of the matter is that most people don't actually want to do it. They want to talk about doing it, they don't actually want to do it. And if they do start doing it, if you don't have the confidence that you could do this on your own, it's going to cause problems. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, guaranteed that it will cause issues. And if that other person doesn't have the drive, if you're not the one, If you both aren't landing on something on your own and then finding each other and working on it together, then they will not have the same level of commitment or drive to make it happen. If you do not have the same pain points, if you don't have the same issues and the same problems in your life that this other person does, and if they're also not thinking along those lines, then it's never actually going to happen that you guys are both going to be at the same level. I learned that lesson very painfully over several years. And from several years of waiting and being scared and not knowing if I could do something on my own, and always putting my faith and putting my success into someone else's hands who always let me down. Every single person that I waited on or tried to do things with has let me down. And the truth is, I could say they let me down, but the truth is that I let myself down, because I could have started on my own. I could have figured it out, and I could have just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually gotten to a point where it would have cracked. But I never had the confidence that I could do that, so I kept waiting. And then when someone would say they were down or wanted to join me, I would be happy and excited. And then when they wouldn't meet my expectations, I would say that they let me down. But the fact of the matter is, I let myself down, because I could have figured it out on my own. But now I put it onto someone else. And that's another trick that we play on ourselves. We want someone else there because it's easier to scapegoat someone else and say that they didn't do it, that's why we didn't get to where we needed to get to. And that's a big problem as well. And the truth is, one of the truths is that you have to start on your own. The first step is the most important one. And when you take the first step, you realize you can take the next one. And no matter what it is, you need to do it by yourself. You need to do it scared. You need to do it embarrassed. You need to do it without worry of judgment. You need to do it without any kind of fear, whatever it is. Any kind of hang up that you have, you need to understand that you have to move forward despite those things. Those things are always going to be there. And you shouldn't be so scared that you're afraid to move, but you should understand that you can move despite the fear. The fear will never go away. Top athletes, top performers have said that there's always some level of angst or fear or anxiety, even at the highest level, even when they've won Super Bowls and championships and presented been on TV for 20 years. They said that there's always still some level of nervousness or anxiety that they get hit with. So if they're still dealing with it, despite how long they've been doing whatever they're doing, that they're the best in the world at, what makes you think you're not going to have some level of it? So you have to start despite all of those things. They're always going to be there, but make the first step small enough that you could take it. And when you take the first step, then you can take the second step, and then the third and the fourth and the fifth. And they can be very small in the beginning. Most of the time they are. And the longer you progress down that road, the better you'll become at understanding what you actually can learn, how quickly you can learn it. And you'll honestly be surprised by yourself if you really commit to something and say that I'm going to figure this out no matter what. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to keep pushing and driving and making something happen. I'm going to make this business come to life. I'm going to make a YouTube channel. I'm going to be consistent enough to grow my YouTube channel. I'm going to be whatever, right? I'm going to study hard enough to get an A. And then you actually get an A and you get your first A of your life and you realize, oh, I can do this on my own. I don't need someone else to study with. I don't need someone to tutor me. I can figure this out. I have to just put the time in and the effort in. And I think one of the biggest things with that is you should never tell yourself that you can't do something. For the longest time, I kept telling myself, oh, I can't design stuff. After that business failed with my friend Andrew, I was convinced that I could never do it on my own because designing was something that was such a challenge for me. And over time, the more I forced myself to, not even just force myself, but I stopped saying that in my head. I stopped saying, oh, I can't design things. I can't design things. I got to a point where I started to trust my own instinct and trust my taste and realized that, well, up until I can get good enough to design things, maybe I can hire someone else who is good enough. And I can give them direction and tell them what I want, what I need. And through that, I realized, oh, I do have a sense of what works and what doesn't. Now it's a matter of practicing enough so I can make this on my own if I really decide to do that. And so one of the biggest things that I've learned through a lot of this is that it is scary to start alone. It is scary to wonder if you're good enough, if you could do it. But the thing is that you have to start. The fastest way to move forward is to start, despite everything else. And one of the wildest things about life is that as scary as it is to start, when you do start making progress on one thing, on something that you want to do, you reach a different rank of people. Just in terms of people who've achieved something or people who've grown something or are putting work into a business or putting work into something that they're working on. And as you kind of rise through the ranks, of people outside of everyday people who just live their lives and do whatever they want to do. As you become someone who's actually achieved something and built something, even if it's in the early stages, you get to a level kind of subconsciously where you will start to be around other people who've also achieved something. You might know those people right now, but they've built something and they don't talk about it. But as soon as you start building something and they see you building something, they'll appreciate it and they'll respect that. And then they'll want to work with you. And that's the crazy thing about life, is that when you're starting at zero, you want someone to start with you because of any number of reasons, and you're afraid you can't start on your own. But if you do start on your own and you start to progress through that, you will naturally reach a level where there are other people who've also done something in their lives. And it might not be the same thing as you. It might be something completely different, but you're going to start to be around other people who've done the same thing. And weirdly enough, you'll have a confidence where you might get to a point where you think, I don't need anybody else. And that's great. But what ends up happening is, as you are at that level and you keep progressing beyond it and to higher and higher levels, other people will be around you who can come and help you. You'll meet people who are doing something similar, or you'll meet people who want to partner you. People will seek you out and they'll have a track record of success, and you have a track record of success. And because of that, they'll want to work with you. And they'll be more reliable because you know that they've built something on their own and you've built something on your own. But the thing is that you won't ever reach those people or reach a level to interact with those people on that level if you never do anything. There's people in your life right now who you probably think have done pretty well or have done some cool things, but you're never able to work with them on anything. You probably think, like, this person doesn't offer me any partnerships or ideas or whatever. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because they've built something themselves. And if you're someone who talks about building but never actually does it, regardless of what the reason is, they're gonna, in their head, there's nothing that you can offer because you can't even start on your own ideas. But as you start to actually work on them and progress them and build something that doesn't exist, other people will see that and they'll naturally want to partner with you. They'll want to be around you. They'll want to join whatever you're doing, or they'll want to help you. Because people who build things and build the things that they want naturally want to help other people out. 9 times out of 10 from what I've seen, people who are successful want to help other people out. It's extremely rare that someone successful does not want to help others or bring somebody else up, especially somebody who's hungry, who has shown something, who's done something with their lives. Because the truth is, people don't work with you because of what you say you're going to do. People work with you because of what you've done. And if you haven't done anything, that's fine. Most people haven't in that sphere of reality. So start building it now. Start building it, start working on it. Show that you have a track record, that you have a reputation of starting something and getting it done, or starting something and growing it, or starting something and sticking with it. There's a reason that when you see someone who's jacked or physically dominant and strong or athletic, everyday people look at them a little bit different. There's a different level of respect because there's nothing you can do to buy that. There's no inheritance that gives you that. That physical strength and speed and agility and building yourself physically is not something that anyone can just give you. It's something that you have to work hard at no matter what, regardless of your outcome or regardless of your starting point or situation. And so naturally the world treats those people better, or shows them more respect, or people want to be around that person. If you look at people's first impressions, you are always more impressed by somebody who is fit than by somebody who isn't. Your mind does pick up on that. And there's no reason not to be fit. And I'm not trying to, not saying anything one way or the other about anyone else, but it's just this natural filtering system and this natural approach that we take to life. When you see someone who's done something or who's achieved something, you want to be around that person more. You see there's a level of respect that you give that person that you might not give to someone who hasn't done the same thing. Not that you disrespect them, but everyone has a baseline, and that person is just a little bit above the baseline because you look at them and you're impressed by what they've done. So people work with you because of what you've done, not what you say you're going to do. And the more things that you do, the more that people want to be around you and work with you and partner with you. And a lot of the greatest things that have ever happened in history were because two people who had built things partnered together to build even more things. And to close, I remember this quote from Carl Jung that goes something along the lines of no matter how isolated or alone you feel, if you do your work conscientiously, unknown friends will come and seek you. And I think that's the perfect way to sum up what I'm getting at in this video, which is that you cannot wait for someone, to join you to start, because vast majority of people will never join you. They'll say that they want to, but they don't have the same drive. They don't have the same pain points that are pushing you to do what you want to do. No one, like most people, will not join you. They'll talk about it all day, but they won't. You have to start on your own. It's the fastest way to get moving is to do it alone. And as you do it and work harder and harder, you will get to ranks of other people who have also done the same thing or done similar things, and they will want to help you and partner with you, and they will seek you out. You will find people in a way that doesn't even make sense, but you will find the people that you're looking for. So don't wait for anything that you're trying to do. Don't wait for anything that you're trying to do. Start doing whatever it is that you want. Do it alone and work hard at it. And the more consistent you are and the harder you work, the easier it will be for other people at that same level or even above you who will want to reach down and help you up. So stop waiting, get started. Because if you keep waiting, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life.